As a matter of fact, I am pushing P. That's pushing powder down my musket so I may smite another op. I put a switch and a beam on my blunderbuss. Your hood's not safe. Read it and weep, peasants. Read it and weep.
Fuck your baby mama, grab your son and do a TikTok. They gon' have to call the we done left this bitch hot. Worse than the hoes ass boy, how you dick hop.
You kind of fall into three camps of people when you hear the phrase Civ Power lasers are kinda ass. One, skill issue, my Civ Power laser is great, it works for me, blah 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 blah. Two, I've tried Civ Power lasers and full power lasers, and yeah, the full power laser is way better. Or three, I bought night vision and lasers to fit in, and I don't actually bring my guns out. In which case, touche. But at some point, you're going to realize that you probably want a full power laser for unspecified activities. My lawyer has advised me not to finish this joke. But yeah, you're gonna want a full power laser because the Civ power lasers are just so dependent on ambient lighting, amount of brush, the amount of moon that night. For example, if there's a very bright moon that night, your laser's not gonna be that visible. If there's at artificial lighting, try this for size. If your target is slightly obscured by brush and not wearing extremely IR reflective clothing under tree cover, if your Civ power laser can find them and also ID them, maybe not. I've tried both, and I'm gonna have to say the full power completely blows the Civ power right out of the water. And this is a DBAL-A3, this is a Laserspeed M3 or Laserspeed FL5. Oh, but T97, I would get a full power laser, but you see, I can't get one because I'm a civilian. Well, that's where you're wrong, because for whatever reason, the FDA does not care, or the Canadian FDA does not care if you buy a full power laser from China of all places. So in comes this lesser known company from China, Laserspeed. I think they have a military contract out there, but they make lasers that are full power and you can purchase them as a civilian in North America. So for the past 6 months, I've been running the Laserspeed FL5 on my Kel-Tec RDB. Okay, everybody roast me in the comments, get it out of your system. But it served me well. It's been through snow, rain, dust, mud, the works, and it hasn't lost zero. It's great. I love it. It has a white light even on it, so I don't even need to put a white light on my rifle. And for the price, $1,100 Canadian, which is however much USD, I really can't complain. Some people have had issues with it, but luckily I bought a later upgraded model, so it doesn't have the same issues with the dial that other gun tubers like, those guys have been talking about. But I reached out to Laserspeed, my beloved, China #1, and they graciously sent me a Laserspeed M3 to try out, which is the same Chinese PEG 15 that you've probably seen in another video somewhere, but this is upgraded. Thank you to this video sponsor, Laserspeed, for sending me the Laserspeed M3 to test and review. If you guys are interested in getting your own Laserspeed M3, check out links down below with discount. They didn't pay me to do this video, but they did send me the laser free of charge, full disclosure. Secondly, but not second, thank you to Cold Harbor Supply for partnering with my channel. If you guys are interested in night vision, thermals, etc., check out my links down below with discount code T97THOUGHT-5 for 5% off your next order at Cold Harbor Supply from my private collection. What's a private collection? Well, it's just a collection of items we thought you guys would be most interested in. There's monos in there, binos, thermals, bridges, a helmet, I think, etc., check that out. Links all down below. Thank you, Laserspeed and Cold Harbor Supply. Back to the video. For the purposes of this review, I'm going to be comparing the Laserspeed M3 with the Steiner DBAL-A3 and the Laserspeed FL5, which I've been using. The Steiner DBAL-A3 isn't mine, and as you might notice throughout this video, the Steiner DBAL-A3 is no longer with us. Where is the Steiner DBAL-A3, you might ask? It is somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains. Mothman took it. In my poor judgment, I decided to bring the DBAL out to Milsim West in West Virginia. and it QD'd right off my rail because I'm stupid and I cannot be trusted with items with QD, such as the Laserspeed M3, which I have not lost yet, but it's gonna get lost eventually. I cannot be trusted. But yeah, in terms of ergonomics between the three lasers, I say the DBAL-A's ergonomics are still the best, mainly because the laser is slimmer and the button is offset, and it takes, get this, westernized tape switches. T97, it's not called a tape switch, it's called a pressure pad. Do you understand what I mean when I say tape switch? It's a tape switch. But yeah, the Laserspeed lasers are very wide, very tall, and they take their own proprietary tape switches. They don't take westernized tape switches. So you're forced to use this massive thing, by the way, which takes up a lot of real estate, which is at a premium on your rifle. Not only that, but the Laserspeed M3 is very chonky and heavy compared to DBAL-A3. Now the FL5 can justify the weight because it also has a white light in addition to the visible laser, the IR laser, and IR illuminator. Another thing with the Laserspeed lasers that is a huge complaint on my part, there's this little green light on the back of the laser. When you turn it on, not when you're firing, but when you turn it on, there's a tiny little green light. Okay, fixable. I can put a tape on it, put a marker on it, whatever. Out of sight, out of mind. No. There is parasitic drain on the battery when you leave your laser on, even if you're not firing it. So my face when I am reviewing, testing, whatever you want to call it, these lasers in the middle of February in Canada at night. It is freezing and I want to use these lasers. No laser. Battery is dead. Mind you, I have not used these lasers at this point, or I have used the FL5. I have not used the M3 at this point. But just by leaving it on for a couple days, the battery is completely dead. So I have to change the battery, right? Unscrew it, take the battery out. Normally how batteries work in my brain, it works with my nods, works with my thermal, whatever. Dick in, cathode in. Full part of the battery goes in first. Screw it back, closed, and then try to fire the laser. No laser. It is bussy in. I was so mad. I cannot explain how mad I was. My fingers were freezing. It was the dead of night in the middle of nowhere, and I just want to get footage for this video. So there's that to keep in mind. That's just another thing that you have to change a battery on at some point, that you have to remember to turn off. It's not shake awake, it's not none of that. You gotta turn it off. That is so annoying to me for some reason. The DBAL does not have this issue. It doesn't have the green light when you turn it on. It does have a little green light when you fire the laser. But at that point, you have a laser coming out of your rifle. You don't have to care about light discipline. Okay, another thing with the ergonomics. Illuminator focus dial. So for the DBAL, it is about a half turn all the way, like semicircle all the way between full blast and not at all, and it is on the side facing the muzzle, so away from you, which can be annoying to reach over your laser to adjust. For the FL5, it is actually facing the user, but for the M3, it is also facing the muzzle. So the only laser out of the three that has the focus adjustment facing the user is the FL5. Another problem with the Laserspeed lasers, oh my god, I'm getting heated. The focus for the Laserspeed is about 2 full 360-degree turns between 0 and full. The diameter of your illuminator is not something you need to have very accurate, you know what I mean? You either want it really big or really small or somewhere in between. You don't need 2 360-degree turns to figure out where you want your illuminator. The DBAL got it right. Half turn, 180 for the whole thing. Speaking of illuminators, for the DBAL and the M3, because the laser and illuminator are on two separate optical benches, the laser is not completely centered in the circle of the illuminator. What I mean is, your illuminator and laser combo is supposed to look like a boobie. Like there's a dot in the middle and then there's a circle. But the FL5, because the illuminator and the laser is on the same optical bench, it is very centered. So it overcomes that issue. For people who have that kind of like, like autistic tick when they see something that's not completely aligned, this is your worst nightmare. The M3 and DBAL-A3 are your worst nightmare. I think I've covered most of my complaints for the Laserspeeds. Again, the huge plus side for the two Laserspeeds is that they're full power and affordable. And for the most part, from what I've seen, what I've tried, they do hold 0 or 5.56. I've only used them on 5.56 rifles. Maybe someone who's tested 308 or any bigger calibers can correct me if I'm wrong. From my testing, they do hold 0. Editing me here. You know me, I'm on that misinformation spreading grind set, reps till failure. But for you guys, I will give you the truth and nothing but the truth. So after coming across the information that the Laserspeed M3 doesn't hold 0 after about 2,000 rounds, I'm here to retract my statement that the Laserspeed M3 holds 0. Because what happens is the QD lever comes loose and then it pops out in the middle of your shooting, and then the whole mechanism, the QD mechanism, seizes up and your laser becomes a little weebly wobbly on your rail. So for that reason, I am placing the Laserspeed M3 below both the FL5 and the DBAL-A3. But the DBAL-A3 is not without its own issues. For example, when you pull out the tape switch, sometimes the socket prolapses. And what I mean by that is that part of the socket comes out. This has never happened to me because I was not trusted with the tape switch, which I shouldn't because I lost the whole laser anyways. But this is something I've heard from other people that's happened. And sometimes, for whatever reason, the Steiner DBAL-A3 will just stop working altogether. So, overall, I'd say that my favorite of the three is still the FL5. With all of its quirks and issues, right? It does have a lot of good things going for it, like the white light, like the full power. I like that it screws onto your rail because, again, I'm stupid, I'm retarded, my brain is very small. I cannot be trusted with QD. The Laserspeed M3 and the DBAL-A3 are QD. The QD on the DBAL is not adjustable, but the QD on the M3 is adjustable. There is a screw that you can fidget with to get it the right tightness. Another thing, the illuminator focus is facing me, and the laser and the illuminator are on the same optical bench. It has a lot of good things going for it, and it was only $1,100 Canadian. Okay, I know. Oh, $1,100 Canadian might be a lot for a lot of people, but this is assuming that you have night vision to use the IR lasers to begin with. So $1,100 Canadian is not that much in the grand scheme of things. Taken, the DBAL-A3 is about $2,700 Canadian, okay? So it is a lot better by comparison. I wouldn't put the DBAL or the M3 above one another. I think they're about the same in terms of balance of pros and cons. In terms of ergonomics, the DBAL is definitely a lot better because the M3 is so heavy for what it does. It is so heavy. Yeah, it's full power, but oh my, it is heavy. I hope you enjoyed my retarded rant. I hope you got something out of it. If you've learned anything from this video, I'd say look into getting a full power laser because I've tried the Civ power laser, I've tried the full power laser, and I'm telling you, full power is just way better. But yeah, I now have, get this, a Rovivon, what's it called? Whatever this is, the Rovivon in my possession, and that will be something that I review sometime in the future. So if that little laser that's only $380 Canadian is something you're interested in, it has a white light, IR laser, IR illuminator, and Viz laser. If that is something you're interested in learning about, seeing how it performs, subscribe. Anyways, bye.